If you have a child or a grandchild, well, this book is well worth picking up. The book is The Mouse Who Played Football, written by former star NFL running back Brian Westbrook and Philadelphia-based sports journalist Lesley Van Arsdall. We'll bring them both on right now. And hey, guys, how are you?
Hello.
Let's go ladies first, all right? Lesley, what is the origin of this book, The Mouse Who Played Football? Was your idea for the most part, wasn't it, originally?
Originally, I've always wanted to write a kid's book. I had at the time much younger boys. This has been a bit of a process, and they love football, not very big guys. So then I kind of came up with the concept of the mouse who played football. But then I'm like kind of talking to my husband about it, and he goes, "You know who this is? This is Brian Westbrook." And I'm like, "It is." And so then we got in touch with Brian, and Brian can pick it up from there.
Yeah, this certainly is your story, Brian. I mean, you were a terrific running back at both DeMatha Catholic in Maryland and then, of course, at Villanova. You still hold all sorts of records. But NFL scouts and GMs, I guess, in 2002 weren't sold on you. They weren't sure whether you could succeed at the next level. And there's a line in this book that's often used, "Too small, tough little fella, but I'm not sure he has what it takes." I've heard you tell the story about something that happened at the Senior Bowl in 2002 that stuck with you for 20 years.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. So I went to the Senior Bowl after having a decent career at Villanova, went to the Senior Bowl, which is an all-star game for basically college players all across the country. So you're playing against guys from Florida State and Oklahoma and Miami, all the big school guys. So this really was my first opportunity while in college to play against some of the best players in the country at the big schools. And so I went through that week and I fought and I just battled all week long, going through the drills and the team exercises and things like that. Then the game day came, and Stump Mitchell, I can't forget his name. I remember the conversation in the locker room. He came to me and said, listen, the coaches and the scouts only think you're going to be a special teamer and a third down back. That's what I'm only going to play you in. And I'm like, well, coach, this is an all-star game. Everybody should get playing time in the backfield to carry the ball to at least show the teams what you can do. Maybe they'll like it. He's like, nah, they won't. They just want you to play third down in special teams. And so my point is that there's a limit. People want to limit you. People want to put you in this box. People want to think that you can only do these things. And you should never believe those things, because the only thing that should limit you is what you have in your heart. Whatever you believe in, whatever you think is your limit, that's the limit. And whatever you're willing to work for, that's your limit, not what other people think. And that's a big time thing right here in our book.
Well, hey, you were finally taken, of course, in the latter part of the third round in 2002, number 91 overall. Ultimately became one of the Eagles' best ever all-time running backs. But when you joined them in 2002, the team was, pretty good at that point. A lot of veterans on the team: Donovan McNabb, Deuce Staley, John Runyon, and Chad Lewis on offense, Brian Dawkins, Troy Vincent, Bobby Taylor, Hugh Douglas, and the like on defense. Coming out of a smaller program like Villanova, were you at all intimidated when you first got to training camp?
Well, I wasn't intimidated. I was scared. I didn't know. I didn't know whether my skill set was going to translate into the NFL level. I didn't know. Maybe, quite honestly, there could have been a possibility that I was just a special teamer in the third down type of running back. I didn't know where the future had held for me and for me. And so at that point, I said, listen, just go out there and control the things that you can control. How hard can you work? How much effort? How much time you're going to put in on the field and off the field? Were you willing to learn the offense and listen? Are you willing to listen to the veterans and then allow them to show you how to be a professional? I was able to control those things. And then when I had an opportunity, my skill set spoke volumes. And that's kind of how the story went.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well for you, I would say, Brian. Great Pro Bowls, etc. Now, Lesley, I know the book is ideally targeted for 5 to 7-year-olds. That's what it says there. But I'm going to expand that range to, say, 3 to 9-year-olds. What is the message? You think 10, 11, maybe?
I read it to my son's third grade class, like
nice
outline, and they went bananas, like just with
good
the names and stuff like that. So yes, please expand. And the message, I really want to have Brian talk about the message, because he just puts it so well. And my gosh, what a better role model for kids.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. What is the message, Brian?
to us, the message is simple. And I think Lesley just did a great job of outlining the entire message. The message is simple. People want your expectations of yourself to be here. And if your expectations of yourself are here, then that's the hard work. That you don't have to listen to anybody. It's all about what you want to do and where you want to achieve and what your goals are. It's not about someone else's ability to tell you who you are and what you're going to be able to achieve in life. This is about what you want to do. It's your world. And I know Lesley reads it to her boys. I read it to my kids, and my kids are small too. So they're not big kids at all. And there is a message that my high school coach told me. He said, listen, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. That's the same thing that this book is mentioning. Listen, I don't care what anyone else says. It's about what you want. You go fulfill your dreams, and at the end of the day, you'll be happy. And that's what we want for our children.
Again, the book is The Mouse Who Played Football by Brian Westbrook Sr. and Lesley Van Arsdall. And it's available, or very soon will be, at least from Amazon and barnesandnoble.com. By the way, I love a book that I can read in less than 10 minutes.
Me too.
Well, here's the great thing. So, I often say if Lesley and it came to me 20 years ago when I was 22, I would have no reference point for this book. I would have had no clue. But because now I have 3 kids, Bria, Brian, and Brielle, 9, 5, and 3, now I have a great reference of like, hey, first of all, to your point, I don't want to read a 30-minute book to the kids at
Yeah.
time. I want to read a 10-minute book. But I also, just as important, I want to have a message. Mm-hmm. And I want it to be one of those messages that I continue to continue to push to them the rest of their life. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Continue to work hard. Don't worry about the things that you can't control. Continue to work hard. Stay on course. Stay focused. And if we can continue to force those messages to our children, then we'll have a group of kids in 15 years that are unstoppable. And that's our goal.
And that is a great message. Hey, let's switch gears and talk a little Philly sports, if we could, the Eagles particularly. Brian, the Birds snuck into the playoffs last season, 9-8. On paper, they should be better, of course, this year with the additions of guys like A.J. Brown, Hassan Reddick, and Jordan Davis. But I think we all agree that it's ultimately going to be decided by the development of the quarterback. B. West, what are you expecting from Jalen Hurts this year?
Well, I expect him to develop a lot. I expect him to be much better than he was last year. One thing that I love about Jalen is that he's going to work his butt off. I saw him about a month ago, and the only thing that he talked about is how much work he has put in. And I believe that when you put in the work, you start to understand defenses better. You start to understand the offense better. This is his second year in this offense for the first time in a very long time for him. Now he has an opportunity to take advantage of things that he wasn't able to take advantage of in previous years. And because of that, and you add that to the increased skill set of the guys around him, I think he's going to fare very well. Now, obviously, time will tell, and can you increase the arm strength and the accuracy and all those different things? Those are things that, hopefully he'll be able to do. But when you talk about the effort, controlling the things that he can control, doing the right things, taking the right steps so that he can be successful, he's taken all of those things, and now it's an opportunity for him to go out there and show how good he can be. And hopefully this year he'll be able to show that.
The Eagles had a lot of success last year running the ball. What are you looking for out of Miles Sanders and those guys this year?
In my ideal world, Miles Sanders is a 1,200-yard rusher and a 600-yard pass catcher. That's 1,800 yards of total offense. If he can do that while sharing the load with Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott from time to time, that's a Pro Bowl year for Miles Sanders. He has that capability. He has the ability to be one of the better running backs in the NFL. Now for him, it's about going out there, staying healthy, and then showing the world what he can do every game of the season. If he can do that, then I have no doubt that Miles can be one of the better running backs in the league.
Well, the games begin for real on September 11th. The Eagles out in Detroit. What do you think, Lesley? What's your prediction? Will they win more than 9? Will they win the division?
Okay, I do. I know there's a lot of talk about the Cowboys with this division, but I think the Eagles win the division. I absolutely agree with everything Brian said. I don't even think it's so much Jalen Hurts right now. I know there's so much focus on him, but it is on Miles Sanders. And the key, if he can stay healthy, if he can be productive, I think he's the key right now for this team. I really, really do.
Brian, your prediction?
I think this team is a double-digit win team, 10, And if 10 wins, if things go great, especially we talk about Jalen Sanders and that offense get going, this can be a 12-win football team. I really do believe that. When I look at the schedule, I see plenty of opportunities for them to win games. Now, injuries and bad play obviously can pop up for this football team, and different things happen throughout the year. However, if they can get things going, they're a 10 to 12-win football team, no doubt in my mind about that.
Agreed.
Hey, Brian, one other thing. October 19th, 2003, I'm sure that date rings a bell for you. Do people still ask you about that 84-yard punt return that beat the Giants at the Meadowlands?
And it'll be a directional kick attempt. Bounces at the 21 and picked up by Westbrook. Westbrook on the return. Here comes Westbrook. He's got a lane. Here comes Westbrook. He gets by. Brian Westbrook going all the way. Touchdown, Eagles. No flags now.
People do still asking me about that. I hear people, I talk to people all the time about fantasy and, well, you won me my fantasy game that week and you did these different things. That was one of the most memorable moments for me, because up until that point, I was doing okay, but nobody really knew what Brian Westbrook truly was. And that was an opportunity for not only to prove it to myself, but to my teammates. My teammates, they were like, you're a good player, but what can you do for us to help us win legitimate games? That was something that I contributed to the team that allowed us to go out there and win. The other thing is that we went on a 6-7 game winning streak after that.
Yeah.
So it was truly a team victory. It was truly a team win. And that's probably the thing that I get the most excited about, is how the team responded after that play. And for me, every morning I turn that video clip on YouTube, and I make the kids watch it before they go to school so they can remember the old guy that's limping around the house. He used to play football every now and then.
That is funny. All right. Again, the book is The Mouse Who Played Football. And, you got a big event tomorrow at the Free Library in Philadelphia, 12 noon. Tell us about it.
Yes, we'll be reading the book, signing the book, taking pictures, doing everything.
Yeah, everybody come out. We want to see everybody. We want to make sure that if you are a Lesley Van Arsdall fan, you're a Brian Westbrook fan, if you like reading books to your kids that have a good message, come out. We want to see the kids. We want to see the families. We're all about the community. The other thing that we didn't mention about the book, this book for Lesley and I was about giving back, right? We're giving back to our own kids. Lesley reads it to her boys. I read it to my kids as well. We want to give these messages back to the children. The other part about this is that we're financially giving back too. We have already committed 50% of our proceeds will go directly to charities that affect and help young children. That's our commitment. We don't want to just be in words and just in print, obviously, the book, but we want to make sure that we're giving back the best way we can. So we're giving 50% of our proceeds directly back to our children, to children across the world, to help empower them and help to grow them up as well. And we're super excited about that also.
That's terrific. And Eagles fans will take note. There's a character in there named Big Red. I wonder who that could be.
Wonderful.
The Mouse Who Played Football, Brian Westbrook Sr. and Lesley Van Arsdall. Find it, buy it. Thanks to you both, and go Eagles.
That's right. Thank you.